The laughter stopped the moment I walked in. My daughter stood in the corner, clutching a paper cup, her eyes glassy and red. My sister's voice cut through the air, sharp, mocking. "She's just like her father," Claire sneered. "Pathetic." The crowd chuckled. Cousins, uncles, even my mother, laughed quietly while sipping her wine, eyes downcast, pretending she hadn't heard. Lily turned toward me, trembling. I didn't say a word. I just took her hand and whispered, "Let's go." Behind me, my mother's voice followed like a curse. "She's a mistake child anyway." I didn't turn around. I kept walking, through the murmurs, through the whispers, and out the door. Lily didn't cry aloud. She just held my hand tighter. That night, as she slept, I sat beside her bed. Something inside me shifted. Not anger, not sadness. Something colder, sharper. Precision. The kind that only grows in people who've been broken before and learn how to rebuild themselves with steel. My sister Claire had always been the golden one. The cheer captain, the top student, the woman who married into money. I was a quiet disappointment. The one who'd chosen a man they called unworthy and then lost him too soon. When he died, they offered pity, not help. Mom had told me once, "You should have chosen better." I'd built everything from nothing. 3 jobs, sleepless nights, raising my daughter alone. And still, every family gathering felt like an evaluation. Every smile a reminder that I was tolerated, not respected. Lily was my anchor, gentle, kind, too forgiving. She still believed they'd one day see her for who she truly was. I'd stopped believing that long ago. They only saw what they could use or ridicule. It wasn't just the party. It was years of small betrayals. The forgotten birthdays, the family photos without us, the scholarships my sister's kids received from the foundation my father had built using profits from the company I'd once helped him grow. Then, last week, something unexpected arrived. An email from my old accountant. Attached was a document, a trust update. My father's estate had been restructured. Claire and her family now own the properties, the business stakes, the vacation homes. My name and Lily's had been erased. One clause caught my eye, upon mutual family consent. That meant someone had to approve it. Someone, my mother, had signed it. I didn't confront her. Not then. I simply thanked the universe for the proof it had handed me. The receipts I would use later. When you spend years being humiliated, your revenge must be crafted, not felt. I didn't yell. I didn't post. I didn't warn them. I simply began to move. Quietly. They had forgotten something. I still held minor shares in the family business, the ones they dismissed as worthless. But under certain restructuring conditions, those shares granted me voting rights in cases of ethical misconduct. Claire's husband, Richard, was a company's CFO, and Richard had been embezzling small amounts of money for years, just clever enough to stay unnoticed. But I had the audit trail. I'd found it long ago and kept it, waiting for the day I'd need it. Now I had my moment. I met with the external auditor, filed a report under whistleblower protection, and quietly transferred my shares into a trust under Lily's name. No one knew. Not yet. 3 days later, chaos erupted. Richard's accounts were frozen. The board demanded emergency meetings. Internal investigations launched. Mom called me, her voice shaking. "Did you do something?" I only said, "I did what was right." But that wasn't the final blow. That was just the prelude. At the height of the scandal, I anonymously sent the estate documents to the family's longtime attorney, the same man who had worked with my father for decades. He was furious when he saw the manipulation. By morning, legal notices had been delivered. My mother's approval had invalidated the neutrality clause in the trust. Everything was now under reevaluation, including assets already transferred. Claire's accounts were frozen. Her husband's career was destroyed. Their home became collateral. And that morning, the one after the party, they came to my door. When I opened it, I saw my mother and Claire standing there. Claire's perfect hair was messy, her eyes swollen. Mom's voice trembled. "Please," she whispered, "don't ruin your sister's life." I almost laughed. Her life? I thought of Lily, of how she had looked at me last night. wondering what was wrong with her that her own family mocked her. "You ruined mine," I said quietly. "Now you get to feel what that's like." Mom stepped forward. "We can fix this. You've made your point. You don't have to destroy us." I met her eyes. "You destroyed yourself the day you called my child a mistake." She opened her mouth to speak, but I closed the door softly, deliberately. They knocked for a while, then silence. A silence that felt like peace. The investigation made headlines. Richard was charged. Claire filed for divorce and moved back in with our mother. They sold their jewelry, cars, even their furniture to survive the legal freeze. I didn't need to ruin them. I just took away the shield that protected them. The world handled the rest. Meanwhile, Lily's trust quietly grew, her future secured not by their approval, but by my planning. A month later, we drove past Mom's house. The garden was overgrown, curtains drawn. Lily looked at me. "Do you ever miss them?" I smiled faintly. "No," I said. "I miss who I thought they were." We kept driving. Sunlight streamed through the windshield, a reflection of a new beginning in my daughter's calm eyes. I had built peace the same way I had built revenge, carefully. And as for Claire and my mother, they finally learned something I had always known. Silence is not weakness. It's preparation.